I think we were just talking here. I think you deserve a documentary. So with Simari, we're going to do a documentary for you for 20 years in the game. And there's so many things that you have done. You know, I don't know if you remember R. Kelly, where you selected among so many, few African rappers to represent the country. You and R. Kelly on a jam and all these Nigerians. So you've had such a wonderful career. Of course, people saying, oh, you're a planned kid, rich and all that. Yeah, but, you've earned it.
I'm gonna kick this off, talking to our sponsors, seeing how everything came together. If you could, DJ Kathy, thank you so much. If you could just get us any Navio song. If you could take us a little way back, it would be really nice, just to warm up our, esteemed sponsors, and we can kick off this, press conference. Thank you so much, Sheraton. About that, give it out for, the Hennessy representative. Give it out for, the Hennessy representative.
The perfect fit for Energy Radio, and likewise as well. So I would say that is exactly why we are a part of Navio's 20 years in the making.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like that, time to celebrate. You're right here to celebrate with us. Will you bring in your energy to the show on the 2nd of September?
Oh yes, of course, we have to. Navio, first of all, congratulations for 20 years in the industry. That is, let me tell you, by the way, 20 years isn't easy.
It's about how old you are.
Don't do that to me. But 20 years of consistency, that is 20 years of creativity, that is 20 years of influence, that is 20 years of pushing boundaries, that is 20 years of global recognition, that is 20 years of Navio, man. So congratulations to you for that one, from Energy Radio.
I like that you're speaking, as Energy Radio, but I know you grew up in Kenya.
Oh yes, me in Kenya.
What song do you listen to? Navio song?
When it comes to Navio, I have a full catalog.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you, at Energy Radio, by the way, each and every single Friday, what we do is we play, we call it Fan Fave Friday. Now we play strictly Ugandan music the whole day, from morning all the way back down to evening, all right? And so that is where I discovered how big of a catalog Navio actually does have, because we're playing Ugandan music the whole entire day. That's hours and hours, right? And so I would say there was one song on there that really hit home, and it's the song called Hamadi.
Yes, sir.
Ah, man.
Whoa, you're digging real deep.
Oh, yes, indeed. Yeah. Let me just tell you, Navio, I'm a big fan, by the way. Yeah. Yes.
All right, man. Thank you so much, Sean.
No problem.
Yeah. All right.
For the guys who would not want to use maybe smartphone, and then for the guys with smartphone, you can go to Google Play or App Store, and then you basically download FlexiPay app, and then you'll be able to purchase ticket. So when you go to *291# or FlexiPay app, you simply select ticket, go to buy ticket, then you put the event name. The event name is Navio, bold uppercase. So you won't get lost. You will definitely find all the ticket categories are available. You'll be able to purchase at your own convenience.
Thank you so much. I like how convenient that is. I don't carry money myself in my pocket. These days we use the apps.
It takes effort, hard work, consistency. So choosing him to celebrate the journey has been easy. When we had Navio, 20 years, we were like, okay, yeah, we have to jump on this. Also, he makes great music. Thank you. So, Navio, congratulations. You're doing a good job. You're consistent. Doing 20 years is hard. 50 years has been a journey. So 20 years is, I know it's big. So at Sheraton, we're happy to host. We're happy to have everybody here on the 2nd. So book your tickets. Let's celebrate. In terms of my favorite song, One and Only, because I'm a lady, I prefer to be the one and only.
I got you.
Thank you so much, and you're welcome. See you on the 2nd.
Thank you so much. Navio's 20 years of bangers. It's exciting for us.
Comma. That's what you should have called the concert.
20 years of bangers.
Yeah, man. But Navio and bangers, I think, should be the same thing. Eh?
Yeah, by the way, let's think about it.
All right, man. What does Pepsi Max Supports align with the commitment of celebrating 20 years of Navio?
As Pepsi and part of all our brands, Mountain Dew as well. We've been partnering with Navio, mostly on the hip hop awards. So the 20 years was a no-brainer for us. And as a brand manager for Pepsi, I've been listening to Navio since I was in high school. So it's really exciting for me to be part of it. It's a privilege really for us to be part of it.
Since you were in high school?
Yeah, since I was in high school.
Navio. Sir.
He's 20 years of age. We are only 15. But most importantly, it's the people that he influences and the communities that he actually touches. So that's what we want to tap into, and the only way to be part of such communities is by aligning yourself with such great brands. Yeah.
Is it actually true that we're live on Afro Mobile?
Yeah, if you get the app for free on Android and on iOS, Campiseo, just Kalango, you can download it for free and you'll be able to stream exclusively. There will be a very unique channel for the stronger relationships to take us to our next 15 years. So every Thursday at 8 p.m., we show something very unique from Mami Chigozi here called the Navio X Project. Catch it every Thursday, 8 p.m. It's an opportunity for you guys to see what culture is in Uganda.
Thank you so much. I like that Navio is a little bit older than NBS. That doesn't happen often. People usually, it's NBS men.
There's been some groundwork done before, several years before. Association with Navio, like I said before, is hip hop. Navio the brand, the person. Hennessy recently supported the hip hop at 50. Like a month ago, and the brand made sure that Navio was there to experience that. Since he's been committed, he's been walking hip hop his entire journey. So we're really proud as a brand to be associated with a brand like Navio.
Yep.
And yes, I'd also like to congratulate him on 20 years.
I like this. You take 1/8. If you remember something called MTV, Channel 8, Channel O, if you remember, you can really tell that this is definitely a very, very long journey. And I can only see the future because you keep setting bars, even in terms of lifestyle, influencing the music, being, somehow you've played a role in the music industry community, trying to bring everything together. I don't know how you do this, but with you always has been a champion on your left. We're gonna get to Talent Africa in a bit. Before that, the myth, Clear Cut Original. Please come say hello to the people. This one, I don't know if it's your big
To be here, guys. Thank you so much for coming through today. We hope to see more of this, more support leading towards this concert. 20 years of this journey like this.
You should turn off Navi. He's threatening the guy.
I don't know which ones to say, but just to be short, because people's time. I mean, we've had moments where it's you're traveling by bus for 24 hours across the continent, country to country. Flights, whatever it is, and we have bonded and worked on stuff. Constant workaholic. We're going to Nairobi. There was some sweet evening tea in the morning, if you understand. And he wanted to write music. I don't know why. But yeah, just constant workaholic, and it has translated. 20 years consistent, making hits consistently. I don't know, 6 albums? And those are the ones that are out here. 3 with clear cuts. There's some that are unreleased from battles. I have seen the progress from just battle rapper to this brand here, and just happy to be here and support in any way that I can. Yeah, that's it. That's
Thank you so much. I would say.
What's your favorite Navio song?
All right. What's your favorite Navio song?
Trouble.
Oh, the award-winning song from the Pride album.
Who forced you to shoot it?
Yes.
Okay, you're welcome.
Yes.
Now we know who forced Navio to shoot the video. Thank you so much, The Myth, for blessing us.
Thanks,
and The Myth has a brand new...
Working alongside Navio for I think the distance of the 20 years. From the Club Rouge days to Talent 256 to Talent Africa. We've been together in so many different scenarios as management, as agents, as promoters, as event managers, as friends, as travel companions. I think I've traveled more than 20 countries together with Navio. There's just so many experiences that have been shared over the years. And of course, when an opportunity to jump on his 20 years concert comes along, it's just a no-brainer. It's like guaranteed, like we have to do it. He's my brother. We'll always support each other and our businesses, and that's why we're on board.
Yeah, Navio, to be called brother.
It's not late.
It's not late.
I'm the only one.
This is my son. Right, you know, what should we expect from Talent Africa Group, you know, in form of event productions at the concert?
It's going to be a great production. We're going to fill this place up like we did a couple of weeks ago with Navio's show, a real hip-hop show. Big stage, big lights, big screens, big production. Navio, as everyone knows, he works hard. When he's putting on a show, he's going to rehearse, he's going to bring his A game, and we're just happy to be there with him to produce what he wants and to bring out his vision through that artistic performance.
You know, as we celebrate 20 years of Navio, I don't know how long you've really known Navio, but one thing I know is that you have traveled with him all over this country and beyond, emphasizing on and beyond. So, getting it on a personal level and on a level of Talent Africa Group, tell us a few experiences that you've shared with the champion here.
I mean, we've gone to so many places. One of the experiences I can remember is when we went to South Africa to shoot the one and only video, which at that time was probably the highest budget video ever shot by a Ugandan artist. We worked with an extremely great film crew, and you know, the concept of that song and that video was like he had to bungee jump, he had to swim with the sharks, he had to do crazy stuff. And I remember that when we're driving out on the boat to go and swim with the sharks, we got out there a little bit late, and you know, the waves were quite choppy, and you know, we just started getting out, and the waves were really crazy. Everyone on the boat was vomiting except for like 2 people. By the way, he was one of the ones vomiting. One of the cameras flew off the boat in like the first minute. Luckily, we had a backup camera on the boat. Then we had to swim with the sharks, and while swimming with the sharks, this guy got bit by like jellyfish like all over his back. And then he was not feeling well. I think that's one of the experiences I can clearly remember. But it was a great video. We had many locations. We traveled all over South Africa to shoot that, and it was a great time.
All for the love of Ugandan music. You're welcome.
We've had some great experiences in Malaysia, in Thailand, in the US, Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda. I mean, I think we've traveled more than 15 to 20 countries together. And the thing that I always appreciate about Navio is that no matter, you know, how hard we may go out at night, or if he has a performance or whatever, he'll wake up the next morning and he's back to work. You know, that's what I got to put my hats off to him. He's a hard worker, dedicated artist. Yeah.
I remember watching a video on Be On to something, but they lack in the a fact that's irrelevant, because I'm not in politics, but I'm still doing trucks with the president. Where does that come from? I want to punish that kid in class making noise.
Thanks, Smith, for making me look bad. I knew that already. Jeez. Let's do another one, Joe.
I know, right? Please. All right, DJ Kathy, you gotta play me a song. Don't play me Batman from Kamocha, and please, the myth. I don't think you're 5 years.
Yes, I told you, man. I told you.
I'd like to thank all the sponsors. Thank you guys so much for coming on board. I know that in this hectic landscape, sometimes it's hard to, buckle down and, decide what you're going to be a part of. So just the fact that you're here on the journey with me, I really appreciate it. So thank you to all the sponsors. Thank you to the media. You guys have been with me since DV8. Yes, behind the scenes, some of you have footage which you shouldn't release, and keep it that way. Some of you have footage that you have released now. Thank you guys so much for your influence as well as media. Thank you to all the team that's been behind the scenes as well. Everyone who's ever supported me, Nav Corp, Talent, all the people who made me what I am. Thank you so much. Clear Cut in the building, definitely. And of course my ghostwriter, Count Machura as well, who's in the building. Thank you guys so much. Code, I see all the guys who are putting in work, and I really appreciate the industry as it stands right now. So thank all of you guys. My name is Lubwama Daniel Chigozi. I'm an artist who started off 10 years old was the first time I was ever in the studio. I was produced by some unknown producer called Steve Jean. He was an intern at Bava Studios in Lunguja, which is of course Ruvaga. Lunguja is like the same neighborhood. So that's the first time I ever got into studio. Since then, we've kind of been working to get better and better, bigger and better. The Clear Cut days, through the Talent and Navio days, into where we are now. It's been a long journey. Like I say, 35, 40 countries toured representing Ugandan music. Closer to 70 awards now for the music we've put in. And there's just 1,000 stories between here and there that I could mention. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's been an epic journey, and you guys have been on that journey with me, as well as a lot of the sponsors on here as well have been on that journey with me. So I wouldn't be here without you guys. The fans, all of the fans that are watching, you guys are the ones who fuel us and make us better, man. So thank you guys so much for that. So I'm neighborhood Navio, man. You never know what neighborhood you're gonna catch me in.
Yeah, neighborhood Navio. All right, so I feel like, honestly speaking, Timothy Cord is here. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Navio gives the best interviews. Every time you come to the show, best interviews, always very professional, fun, and name it, everything in between. So we've really witnessed your journey because you've actually given us, a chance to look into your life. You keep showing up for interviews over time. So most of the things that you say here, we probably already know, and everyone is just happy to be part of your journey right now. If you could please tell us a little bit, if there's a story right before Clear Cut, I'd like you to start there, and then bring us all here. If you could just tell us Navio in terms of the music, what's the story?
I think Navio, pre-Clear Cut or around the Clear Cut days, was more of a hype man. That's what people don't know or realize. I was never the most lyrical or the most nothing's changed. No, but I was never the most talented in the group. But I know I had to represent for the guys that were in the group with me. So yeah, there may have been times where I run on stage and I would just shout the whole time, "Get your hands up, put your hands down, lefty, righty, hands in the air." But I knew that I had to get better, and I knew there had to be more substance with what I do. And I had very good teachers in KUT, Clear Cut, to kind of get my rhymes together and have me become, the battle MC that gets respect from Kenya to Nigeria to South Africa, to become that MC who is able to travel around and be known on other continents and take selfies in Malaysia, some of the most unexpected places that we get stopped, by people on the continent and off the continent to take selfies. So I'd say that was really one of the funniest things, and I may share footage with the media of me jumping up and down, saying not much of anything when I used to get on stage. So it's weird to see that journey. Another one would be, you need another one, or we'll leave it there.
We can leave it right there. I got a couple of questions. All right. I feel like most rappers, and this is not just in Uganda, this is all over the world, when you look at, what they're doing with their free time, let's say they're behind the scenes, or let's say their music as well. I find like you are one of those artists that really do care about the community. And just to throw you to here at the 20 years, we're watching something called Project X on NBS television. And while I was watching one of the episodes, I realized one thing, that you're digging into culture, into tradition, into people. And I really strongly believe that the biggest tourist attraction that we have in Uganda is actually the people, not necessarily the animals. So that gets me to my question. How important is community to you, and what exactly are you doing with Project X?
Yeah, I mean, community is huge. For me personally, I think I never really put it at the forefront at times when I should have. But I think even from the Clear Cut days, you know, we had one of the biggest tours around to raise awareness, AIDS awareness. And this is like back in 2002, 2003. We are part of the, you know, a lot of those big pushes for awareness. Of course, everybody knows I'm in and out of the refugee camps a lot, you know, and that's just from my own experience, you know, having this displaced between here and, you know, Kenya during the Civil War and stuff. So people know about that as well. Off the ground as well, people with disabilities. We work, you know, hand in hand with them. Women's empowerment programs, so many over the years. Child education programs, girls' child education programs, alongside Rahu and the crew. Really, I'd say that if, you know, people always like, oh, you give 150% of your time to music, but I'd say if I have 100%, 30% of my time is probably dedicated to that community outreach. But I don't really talk about it. It's not really at the forefront of what people want to know about Navio. That's more of a Luama Daniel thing. But it is very important. And of course, you know, I see Baba in the building as well. You know, he's all about community. And we've had talks and stuff over the years. I think there's a mutual respect for what we do above the line, below the line, in the hood, out the hood. For projects we've been a part of. I think any hip hop or anyone who's involved in hip hop from our days, whether it's the Sylvester Abrams, Baba, us guys, Clear Cut, it's something that came with the hip hop responsibility, and that's the difference between us and a lot of genres. The community is part of what we do.
I thank you so much, because when we're celebrating Navio, as much as I would like to keep it completely to the music, I told you that you're very inspirational in terms of people who just love the rap culture or the music entertainment industry. It kind of, you know, tells you that do this, but you also got to do this. You have to check yourself. You have to always look dapper. You have to look clean. You have to, you know, go out there and represent us. In that spirit, you mentioned of Baba Luku. It's good to have you in the building. And yeah, thank you for your community contributions. Lyrical G is also in here. So if you came to celebrate Navio, you know the vibes. You know, Champion Flex the Paper is in the building as well. Ugandan All-Star, always making sure. And this champion has been filming since Joakali. I don't know, way before that.
14. You know, he's a big boy. He's bigger shoes than me, bigger hands. You know what I mean? So it's beautiful to see them grow and how he's kept me focused. I believe that I had a certain amount of expectations coming in, but when he was born, you know, that really made me reassess how I want to be remembered, and how hard I go. So for me, family and work, they go hand in hand. The expression you see, the creativity, the drive, the consistency that people mention. For me, I get that because I get that reminder every time I go home that I'm not working for me, I'm working for family. So the two go hand in hand.
All right, I've already seen enough videos of people saying that they're coming to the Navio concert, and I'm
20 years, because nothing is guaranteed. We're not guaranteed I'm going to get a 30 years. We're not guaranteed I'm going to get a 40 years. So for me, this is such a huge milestone. Everything has to be on point, spectacular, and I have to show what, you know, those 70 awards, what those 35, 40 countries that we've toured, what the experiences with different programs, everything from, you know, 1-8 to Twende Kazi to, you know, the Channel O nominations, everything from Clear Cut, the days touring around Africa, you know what I mean, from bus, boda to private jet, you know, I gotta show what all of that has taught me for 2 to 3 hours on a stage. That's how I'm regarding it. So for me, it's life or death. You know what I mean? Like everything my brand has built to, everything that we've been coming to, is coming to a head here. But then also at the same time, it's a huge celebration. I made it back from West Africa. I made it back from, you know, Asia and everywhere that I've been. You know, all those awards, I've made it back from there, bringing it home. So now for me, it's like a coming home story. You know what I mean? And this is how it ends. Like, this is the huge celebration. People are coming to party. People are coming to have fun. You know, so yeah, even you know, my closest friends that I've been talking to are like, we're here to celebrate. You know what I mean? As much as like, you know, everything's gonna be running smoothly. The first and foremost, we're here to celebrate and have a good time. So yeah, man, if you know, if you want to be at the craziest party in town, make sure you guys come down, you know, and have a good time. I think it's a safe spot that we've picked. Thank you to Sheraton for providing such a safe dynamic, you know, whether it comes to the VIPs or everyone else who's coming, you know, the regular folk like me. We're all gonna be in the same place, all gonna be safe, all gonna be taken care of, great security. You know, the place is walled in, really nice, and you know, a breezy gardens in Sheraton. Who doesn't want to be in a situation like that? It's very central. I'm really looking forward to the experience.
Right. Also to, you know, celebrate NBS Television and our
20 years. There's a person behind those 20 years. And one of the reasons we're the most undervalued human beings on the planet, because nobody knows who we are. If you Google him, you're not going to find much. So one of the reasons I'm encouraging every single one of you, especially people like you, people follow, you have to tell us who you are. Where do you come from? What you stand for? Where you're going? How you getting there? What contributions are you making? Because this is a chapter of your life. There's another chapter. Music ends sometimes, right? But you're still a young man. There's a lot to go. There's so many chapters in his life. His story is incredible. I did a research, asked some young people about Navio. You know what they used to tell me? He's just a rich kid. Doesn't even need the money. What does he do? Well, I've known his mother for the last 15 years. That's how I got to know Navio. His mother is the woman who basically introduced me to him. I did some research on him, the amount of work he puts in. But then I told him that beside the music, how can people in the country across Africa get to know how you do what you do so they can emulate what you do going forward? So many artists have disappeared. So many wealthy individuals in Africa have completely disappeared. We don't know who they are. We don't know what they did. And by the way, if you don't write, don't worry, they'll write for you. The key is, would you want to really be happy with what they say? So every single artist and every single one of you, anything that's not documented doesn't exist. Anything that's not documented doesn't exist. The reason why, I live in the UK, my company is actually publishing that we're helping to do this. One of the reasons really confused me, how come those countries call them wealth countries when the UK borrow £20 billion a month to pay their bills? Why do we call them wealthy? Because they document everything. Here, even people in Uganda, when I come here, they said to me, why are you writing things down? Are you Muzungu? So he has to document. And also beyond documentation, your program is a training program. It's going to be shared all across the country, all across Africa, teaching them what made you who you are, so that you don't die. You see, people don't die as long as they do what? Document. But I'll leave you with this, especially here in Uganda. My name is Samaganda. But what happens here, we don't value documentation. They even call it butabu. They don't invest any time putting it in there. Everywhere I have been is because something need to speak for me before I show up. That's what you have to do. So all the questions you've asked, every single thing that he hasn't even told you, it's in a document. The partners should partner with him long term, not just for this show. This show is over when? When is September. After that, and then what? Partner with him this document because it's going to be ongoing forever. He's going to be inspiring young people all across the country, all across Africa, ever. Show, it'll be done. And the cameras will be off, and you forget about him until he keeps going. Okay. A little piece of paper in the bookstore. It's his life. The one thing that's worth more than him is his family, right? Beyond your family, what else is more valuable? Your life, right? So if your life is not documented, it doesn't exist. It's not a book. It's your life that for the next 100 years, you won't die. So it's not a book. It's a program that you're going to be inspiring young people for the rest of your life and beyond your life.
Your knee might end up hurting. You know what I mean? We kicked open so many doors, but it comes at a great cost. And I think the beauty is being able to share that with the people coming up. I think with UNMF and a bunch of things that are happening in the industry right now, there's a huge surge towards how we're going to influence the next generation of artists, how they're going to benefit. And so I think in 20 years, man, I just want to be remembered as a guy, first and foremost, you know, just a Rubaga boy who loved music, loved this country, wanted to explore Uganda, bring that to the people, and wanted the best for his family, man. And you know, as Ugandans, everybody's your family.
I like that. I definitely like that.
And they had a boy and a girl, and I came along. But they still love me, so it's okay. As a blind kid, what?
What are your greatest fears, personally and as an artist?
Greatest fears, I don't have past family, I don't really have too many fears. Family, friends, I fear for other people more than myself. I was raised to be able to handle myself in many situations, so I don't really fear for myself, but yeah, it's just the difference between being a real human being and a role model sometimes, I think is what's expected of us sometimes as artists is very, very broad, you know, and everybody has a bad day. So reputation is a big one, just because I represent more than myself. I represent the Ugandan people, I represent my fans, you know, every time I step outside I represent more than myself. So that would be my only fear, but that's about it.
Okay, 20 years down the road, what is that one time that you felt like quitting, and why did you feel like that during your 20 years of journey?
Quitting. I feel like when they became a shift to everybody going online, that was one of the moments I thought that maybe things are going to be decided by online. You know, before we even understood it, it seemed like, oh, we're going to do this vote for this awards or that awards, or you get into this, or this is now how big you're going to be. When we started getting attached to a number, statistically, I knew that it was going to be difficult for us in Africa. So that's the first time I was like, wow, you have all these great artists who are so amazing at what they do, but if they don't have the stats to back them up, does that really mean that they're not dope artists anymore? I think that for me was one of the biggest things. The shift to online was a moment where I was like, oh wow, you know, so my ability to freestyle and rap and battle and do whatever I do, where does that now rank in this online world where they're like, Navio, you only have 2 followers? You know, I still don't think it's a good way for us to judge acts and artists, because and even music videos, stuff like that, you know, I mean, it's not a good way to judge artists, because any big artist will walk out on stage, you know, albeit at Diamond Platinums. In Uganda, Joanita Kawalia will walk out on the same stage, and you'll see what the crowd will do. You know what I mean? But she's not about followers, and she's not about music videos and anything like that. So it's very hard to judge artists. That would be one of the times that I thought, you know, it was going to be. But that was also like 15 years ago. So. I kept going.
Lastly, there have been allegations of your audience being mostly in young kids, school and stuff, and you're doing a concert when kids are coming back for holidays and campus is resuming. Is this proving the fact that that is where your audience lies?
You know what? Me and my team are really bad with calendars. So we usually just do whatever we feel like. I think at this point, whatever date felt good was what we're going to go with. We're saying to ourselves, we need 3 months, 4 months for the build-up. And this seemed to be the perfect date. I don't think when it comes to a 20-year, you can't be very particular about the timing. You have to just do it when this is when I started, you know, September 2003. So this is when I have to have my concert. So we weren't very particular about the date, but we did announce the date before any of the other shows that are on the date.
I'm JK, I don't know about from where. 5 young kids came to me and they said they have a song, played it 20 years ago on Jama Jena, the first ever hip-hop video. And with that, I just want to know, is Juliana going to be part of this? Are the boys coming? Is JB, Papito, are they coming for the 20 years?
That's to Uganda even now. Wow. So there are a lot of artists and a lot of collaborations that we've done. But we're going to try and get as much as we can into the show. We had the show down from about 130 songs down to now 50 songs, and we're going to cut that down to fit in for the 2 hours, which is maybe about 25 songs. So we're also having a hard time. Please, members of the press, let us know what songs they want to hear. That'll be very instrumental. Also, remember that Stanbic and FlexiPay are doing some giveaways online as well. They're going to be doing huge promotions. A lot of the sponsors up here will be doing promotions on their page as well for giveaways to those die-hard fans of both Navio and the brands that they represent. So I'm looking forward to all of that. But yeah, we're going to have a lot of action. It is 20 years of Navio. So if it's just me alone, which has never happened, be happy. But now we have a lot of people coming for this, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
All right.
Rhyme. I'm just thinking for mine. It seems like I'm wrong already. So educate us, sir.
No. So there's 5 elements.
I believe that there is only one song in Ugandan history that has put 13 and 14-year-olds on a first-class flight to the biggest award show on the continent. Having lunch with Kofi Olomide here, Oliver Mutukudzi here, Baba Mal, Salailo Selota, people from all over the continent. So I have to, always shout out All I Want to Know. All I Want to Know, Clear Cut, that's definitely up there. Also, of course, we have, one of the top 3 most played songs of all time in Uganda, which is Bad Man from Kamocha. That was a big one. Hey man, now we did anger. Guys, you really, please. The most important one. I think for me, I'm going to say Ngalo. I had been, it's the first song of Half the Legend, and I had been sitting in school watching Peter Miles get all that ruckus money alone.
Are you serious?
So the rage I came out of school with, the anger to want to excel after doing well in my exams, kids. I also did well in my exams first. I think that was really evident, and me just coming out with Bugumu, Ngalo, all of those songs back to back. I think it really just it was a snapshot into, where I wanted to take hip-hop music, and the fact that hip-hop music could be released in such a pure form, or pure enough, and still make it relevant and still be on every single chart. So yeah, that was a big one for me.